Welcome to Viking basketball. After a long hiatus, the Vikings playing today against Northwest Nazarene University in a game hastily scheduled after some canceled games these past 2 weeks. And Coach, it has been 18 days since your team has hit the floor against an opponent. You must be very anxious.
Yeah, we are. We're excited. We're anxious. It's the biggest thing is in a basketball season, one thing that's usually really nice is you get into a rhythm, doing scouts, doing practice, traveling, home and away, all these kind of stuff, even this stuff that you and I are doing. There's been no rhythm to any of it. So, 2 weeks in a row, we've gotten news on a Wednesday that the weekend was canceled. And so we, like you said, hastily threw this game together. And we were thankful that the boys from Northwest Nazarene could be here. And we just want to play.
Yeah, and you say the key word there, I think, was rhythm. And you get into a rhythm as a team, as a coach, as a player. Practice, game, practice, game, and that rhythm is good, and you learn in practice. You want to put it into play in the game and figure out if it's working for you. Haven't had that opportunity, and in fact, the Vikings went from not having enough practice to maybe too much practice. How does that impact you going into today's game?
Isn't that embarrassing to say? But yeah, I would agree with you. It's actually, we've had too much practice recently. The last time we played was Oregon State, and even though there are no moral victories in our minds, we came off of that second half and the ending of that Oregon State game disappointed but pleased with our play in the second half. And so we thought we learned some things. We thought we figured out some things about ourselves, both players and coaches. But then guess what? We haven't played since then. And so we've kind of been excited to see who we are again. We wanted to play Eastern Washington. That didn't happen. We wanted to play Sac State. That didn't happen. So here we are today. But we're excited to not be practicing today and just be playing.
And the guys, they probably get really hyped up the closer they get to the game, and then there's that letdown. How mentally taxing is that, and how do you get them back up when you finally do get to play?
Yeah, last week was a little bit different. It was kind of a funny story or, kind of an entertaining story where it was like, okay, we got all the way to Cheney and got them in their rooms, and literally 10 minutes into it, we had to call them and say, hey, come down here, we need to meet, we got an emergency. This week, we had tested, and we were about a half an hour from getting on the bus to go to the airport, Sacramento. And we had to text the guys and say, hey, don't come back just yet. We're not going anywhere. They tested positive, so there's no games. And then we ended up practicing. This one was more of a letdown because it was the second time, twice in a week or so that it happened. And so this was a little bit bigger hurdle to get over mentally. And just the other thing is like guys have been working, coaches and players have been working hard to put scouting reports together and really working on preparing for games. And there's a lot of time and energy and effort that goes into that. And then when you don't get to do it, it's a letdown, no doubt about it. I'll be the first one to tell you it's a letdown when you spend all those hours working on film and working on things in practice to prepare for that game and then it doesn't happen. It's disappointing.
All right, let's talk about scouting reports. This game today, Northwest Nazarene, a Division II program. They play in the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. And their conference has actually opted out of the season and allowing teams to play games independently. Northwest Nazarene has actually not officially played a game yet, although they've been practicing. And the Vikings have once previously faced this program. In fact, you coached against them 2 years ago, a 91-75 victory over in Idaho against Northwest Nazarene. Tell us what you know about this program and this team today.
Well, this is a real opponent. This isn't somebody that we could just show up and not do homework on and try to beat. This is a team we had to do homework on and work on, and we're going to have to work hard to beat them. They can really shoot the basketball. 2 years ago, the night before we played them, they had beaten Idaho, so they definitely had our attention 2 years ago with that squad. Paul does a great job with this team, and they'll be very well prepared, but they can really shoot the basketball. They have a very good scorer, number 11, Allie, who can really get to the paint as well as shoot the ball from three. And then they really share it and move it, but a lot of shooting on the floor. So if you see us giving up a lot of threes in this game today, we're not following the game plan. We need to make them more dribblers than shooters for sure. They do a good job on the glass. They have some physical kids that'll get after it in the paint and scrap and rebound the basketball. So we're going to have to work. This is not a pushover game at all. This is a good program.
And the other thing I was going to say, you just alluded to it. Generally, when you're playing a lower division school, even though this is only a Division II program, not much lower, you have a pretty good size advantage. This team also brings in some size as well as shooting.
Yeah, no, they have real bodies. They have guys that are very experienced, and they have good size on the perimeter as well. So it'll look like a real game. It'll be a real game. We'll have to work at it. You know, I'm counting on the fact that our guys should be excited to play anybody today due to the fact we haven't played in so long. So I would assume that we'll be excited and ready to go.
Okay, what do you need to see after all this time away from actual game action? What do you need to see from your team today?
You know, I think that we need to continue to be better just with not making mistakes at both ends of the floor. You know, I think we've cleaned up a lot of things. We just finished week 6 of basketball for us, and I feel like things have really come together the last couple of weeks, and guys are understanding where they need to be at both ends of the floor. We're learning how to share the ball and trust each other much more. You know, not to harp on the same thing all the time, but, you know, week 6 is usually somewhere in late October, you know, but week 6 this year is early January. And so guys are learning about each other, learning their strengths and weaknesses, but I'm learning about these guys too and learning where I want to use them the best. And here it is, January 8th or 9th, and we're only 6 games into it, so here we go.
And keys to beating Northwest Nazarene, I'm going to assume you want that relentless pressure that you try to bring every night and perhaps getting to those shooters.
Yeah, they do a great job offensively. They've been known, Paul's teams have been known to run really good stuff. If you see them easily being allowed to run stuff, we could be in trouble because they're going to get opportunities to shoot the ball where they want to shoot it. We need to disrupt them. We need to get them out of their rhythm. We can't give up a bunch of threes. We need to be one and done on the glass because, like you said, they have some big bodies that could hurt us on the glass, and then we need to run and score.
Okay. Head coach Barrett Peery, thank you very much. Coming up next, Viking basketball against Northwest Nazarene.